I am going to show you how to mess around with Adobe Premiere Pro. So the idea is you're going to create your animation without any sounds or anything, whooshes or music. And when you're all done, you're going to render it, as a movie. And then we're going to bring it into a program called Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a video editing software. And we have it on all the computers. And it's much easier, I think, to add whooshes or music. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that this morning. So here's my desktop. I'm going to go over to Mac HD, the little icon, or you can do a search. I'll do a search and say Adobe Premiere Pro. So Adobe Premiere Pro, there it is right there. And I'm going to double click it. And it's opening up. I don't know if you can see it down here, and the movie kind of cuts off down there, but it is jumping. So it's opening it up. And then I'm going to make a new project. So here's a new project button over here. I'm going to click it. And I'm going to say 1 minute tutorial. This is what I'm going to do because I'm making a tutorial. That's the name of the project, and it's going to be here. Now it's going to be in, Documents, and then Adobe folder, and then Premiere Pro folder, and then 23. That's the version I have. You have 22, but yeah, it's going to put it there. Now you can move this if you want. You can say choose location. So I could go. Get out of these Adobe folders, which is sometimes a real nightmare, and put it in Documents, and then make a folder that says Animation. Okay? Something like that on Documents. And now it's switching to that there. And then I'm going to create a sequence. Now my issue is, it seems like every time I create a sequence, which is a timeline, it's like a composition in After Effects. I'm going to call it 1 minute animation, and I'm going to create it. Let me move this over. So once I do that, so this is the name of the project. This is the name of the timeline, and I'm going to create it. Now it should be a timeline. And you'll notice there is no timeline here. See where it says no timeline? And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this again, but what I'm going to do is in here, this is your folder where you're going to keep everything, right? And let me try to import some stuff here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our animation movie. We're going to bring in a folder of whooshes, and then we're going to bring a folder of music that I've created that's on Canvas module. Okay? All right. But so I'm going to go File, Import, and in Downloads, here's my animation that I'm going to use. It's created by another student, and it has no sound on it, but it's really good. I'm going to import it. There it is right there. And then I'm also going to import or bring in the 1 minute animation music that you have available now in Canvas, and it has all these different folders of music here, and you can kind of go through and pick one. Okay? Now it says that one of those, it might be a zip file or something, but don't worry about it. Even though it says that, just go ahead, and it's going to basically do pretty much everything. Now we have the music. Now I'm going to say File, Import, and I'm going to go back to Downloads and download a folder of whooshes. Now again, a couple of these folders have zip files in them, and Premiere Pro won't work with the zip files. They're somewhere here. I swear they are. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to import them. Nope, there weren't any. I guess I took them all out. All right. So again, we're going to use Premiere Pro to kind of put everything together. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag my animation just over to here. And I want to make sure that this, let me go out a little bit here. This is my movie, the black area. I want to make sure it's 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames a second. So if I go over here and go sequence, because again, in After Effects they call a timeline a composition. In Premiere Pro they call a composition a sequence. So you go over to sequence settings, and see how it's 1920 by 1080? And it's 29.97, which is basically HD quality, high definition quality. And where you at here? Oh, come on. Okay, so it's set up. Okay, and here's my animation here. And what I'm going to do is just show you how to bring all this stuff in. So Alan, who was a senior, he starts it off like that, which is pretty cool. It's a mask, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a swoosh that kind of goes with this. I'm using my arrow keys to go frame by frame. All right? So let's say maybe right there I put my scrubber where I kind of maybe want a sound to start. I'm going to go to my whooshes, and if I double click these, I'm going to try to find one. Okay, I'm going to try that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it. Now, if you zoom in, do you see the little bumps here? That's where the sound is. So it starts maybe like right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make just the sound area. I don't need anything else after. And it kind of fades off there. But let me try it right there. And again, I'm going to go right about here and drag it. And see? And again, sometimes you'll get, let me zoom in, sometimes on these sounds, so it starts off, you'll see here, it starts off so you can barely hear it, and here's the main part of it. And if I want to, what I did was I went down to the layer, next to the layer here. Let me go just a second here. Oh, that map's messed it up here. Right there. Okay, so what I did was, oh, come on. Come on. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the layer. And again, what I did was I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I'm going to use my scrubber to find out where I want to start it at. Okay, because that way it'll snap to it. And if you want to have snapping, usually you have this little magnifying glass here that's either on or off, and you want it on, blue, so things snap to it. But again, it's going to be a lot easier like that. So that's a pretty good sound already, see? Okay, and then let me go to the next one here. So right when this, come on, it went back too far here. Man, Come on. All right. Come on. Let me go right. I'm going frame by frame. I shouldn't have to, but come on. Again, I'm trying to put my scrubber where I want the sound here. So maybe right here? Right there. Okay, so that's where the red appears. And what I'm going to do is you look for one here. It did not bring in a lot of whooshes, so I got to figure out what's going on there. Let me try this again here. This is weird. All right, come on, computer. All right, so let me go into the whooshes again here. I'm going to go import whooshes. Let's try that. So I'm going to import just this one and then put it like right here. I mean, it needs a little bit of length to it. And what I could do is I can zoom in. And if I wanted to, I could go to, I could right click on it, hold my control key down and right click, and I could say speed and duration, and 100% is normal. So let me go to 70%, and let's see what happens here. See how it lengthens it a little bit? So it needs to move a little bit here. Let's try that. That's all right. Now again, the end of this, see how, if you can see here, and I can take the bottom of this audio layer and drag it down and make it wider so I can see it better. Okay? But it stops, so you don't really need any of that. But just again, we're just kind of building this. Okay, now let's say that you have all your sounds done and you have them on a layer. These are A1, A2, A3. You can do as many audio layers as you want and as many video layers as you want. So what you're going to do is I have music, and let me try the drum beat here. I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to put it on its own audio layer. Okay? Oh. And now see how hot this is? It should be just in the orange or yellow. See how it's going up to the red? So what I want to do is, again, I'm going to drag the bottom of the layer here in the black right here. See my mouse change? I can drag it down, and then I can move it a little bit. That's much better. You don't want it to overmodulate. All right, so, and then if I want, I can drag the music to the end. You can create a title or of ending credits or whatever. And you can also, once you have this line, by again dragging the bottom of the layer down, here's the volume line right here that I was messing around with. But you can also use the pen tool to create a fade down at the end. So I can use the pen tool, put a couple dots on that white line. Here's one dot, here's another dot. And I can go from first dot starts the fade, second dot ends it. So it just kind of fades down at the end. Okay? And that's kind of all it is. Now again, you want to take your time and mainly build your whooshes, okay? And there are a lot more whooshes. I don't know why they all didn't come in, but there are a lot more. Let me show you. Just a second here. So on the thing that I gave you to download, there are these. Now these are the two files they couldn't bring in. Let me open these here. Oh, sorry. So all I'm doing is opening them. And it won't bring in a zip file. So what I did was I double clicked on them to open them, and then I just deleted them. But you have all these different types of whooshes here. Okay? And I have more. So, but yeah, they're always kind of fun to, this has a whole bunch, I think. Nope. But yeah, they're kind of all over the place, you know? And you just need to take your time and just look at a few and mess around with them. So you want to build your whooshes first, and then the music, you just kind of bring it in and it kind of just fits. So the music I gave you, hopefully, I think will fit the type of animations we have. I think it's kind of moving, kind of technical, a little techy. All right? So that is kind of everything. And then there is one more thing. When you're all done and you want to export it, you want to keep saving, Command S or the Windows icon S on the black keyboards. And when you're all done, again, place your whooshes first and then think about your music, because your music's super easy. The whooshes just take a little time to get them in the right place. All right, so now when you're all done, you're going to go File, Export Media. File, Export Media. When you're all done, click it. Now here's the most important part. Rename it. Keep the .mp4. Let's say it's like the final project. So 1 minute final. And then right here, this is where it's going to put it. So we're gonna change the location of where it's going to put it so you can find it. Okay? And then when you're all done, you press export and it'll make it. Okay? It's just like rendering. It's actually better. It's much faster than rendering. But yeah, there you go. That's why I'm going to bring it into Premiere Pro, because it's going to be a quicker process to put whooshes and music and then export other than just than After Effects. All right, thanks.